Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings Live. This handsome devil is your host, Bill Miller. All right, very excited because we have an original art unboxing. NammaN, for those of you who don't know, a comic bookworm, had a live stream 3 to 4 weeks ago, upon which the duck of yours truly won the duck race. Very excited. I've been telling everyone who would listen since then. But the best part is that a very talented artist, Alexandra B, sent me an original sketch cover. So we will be opening that. We'll also go through a box we haven't gone through in many a year, getting it set to sell probably in about 5 or 6 months, lining things up for a little booth in an antique shop that I have that I sell comics at. And we'll do an unboxing a little bit after that as well. But first, a couple items for show and tell. A couple weeks ago, I went to a trading card and comic show, very small, in a hotel in Glendale, which is a suburb of Phoenix. Took many musings there. Gave him a spending allowance, which he blew immediately. And I got just 2 books. So I'll show those to you. The first is Vampirella, issue number 50. It's in pretty good nick, as the Britishers are wont to say. And the other is, you guessed it, The Savage Sword of Conan, issue number 167. And this is actually one that I didn't have. So, contrary to popular belief, I do not have the entire run of Savage Sword of Conan. I do probably have 400 of them, but so many of them are repeats. And I don't have all of them, just because when you start specifically hunting down particular issues, that's when the costs tend to increase, right? And I'm not at that point yet. And one last item, a Father's Day gift from Mrs. Musings. I got Nick Fury, number 8. So Nick Fury is a title that I am collecting. So very excited to get this one. And on the back, they're looking for people who aren't like me, people who know how to draw and just need a little bit of training. So Nick Fury, issue number 8. And that is the show and tell initial portion. Las Cruces, how are you? Good to see you, sir. Joe, thanks for stopping in. All right, so with the help of our box cutter made for right-handers, we will open up this package, if you will, and even if you won't. Big O and his freakishly large hands are here. Good to see you, sir. Give me 1 second, and we'll get this show on the road. All right. Oh, and there's the woman of the hour. Alex, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. And thank you so much for this. I have Alex's Instagram link in the description. Please take a look. I do believe she does commissions, and from the art that I've seen, it would be well worth it. She's an incredible artist with the misfortune of knowing NammaN. Now, I tease NammaN. I know has had some issues in the last couple of days. I sent him a message. He is in my thoughts, and I wish him a speedy recovery. Thank you for the note. I appreciate that. Now I need to navigate this with utmost precision. Without harming the contents therein. It's packed very well. But if only I had a box cutter made for left-handers, I'd be in good shape. Missed you on cover slingers, Big O. Oh, I'm certain that I will, that's for sure. Oh, let me read the note that NammaN included before I open it. It says, Comic Mag Musings, Bill. The word hero is bandied about a little too much nowadays for my liking. Now, I don't think you're a hero, Bill, but you're my hero. You're an inspiration, sir, not just to me, but to the entire collecting community. And I consider it one of my greatest life's achievements to call you a friend. Thank you, NammaN. Thank you so much. Now, that may or may not have actually been included in there. It's quite possible that I took some liberties with that note, or even the fact that there was or wasn't a note to begin with. But I think if NammaN did indeed leave a note, in my opinion, that's probably what he wanted to say. All right. We're getting there. I just want to be very careful. That's all. I got the idea. I use duck races. Oh, no. Oh, oh, boy. Well, it was just the 4th of July, Bob. So what are you going to do? Boy, the riff-raff is piling in now. Bub's the harbinger of the riff-raff, I should tell you. All right. Extra careful, and it paid off. So I haven't looked at it. You rascals and rascalettes get to see it before I do. So here we go. Boom. Oh, boy. Isn't that beautiful? Just incredible. Absolutely love it. Alex is such an incredibly talented artist. Love it. So this, of course, is a blank cover of X-Men #1, and she did a beautiful sketch. Absolutely love it. I will post this on Instagram tomorrow. So thank you so much, Alexandra. I certainly do appreciate it. It is absolutely beautiful. Your work is incredible. Absolutely. It's the kind where you don't get the link, bub. You rotten apple. Oh, it did indeed make it safely. Very packed very well, and certainly well worth the wait for me. So thank you so much. I've had this for quite some time. I just wanted to do it in a live stream. Yes, indeed. Thank you. So thank you again, Alex. It's absolutely beautiful. I will treasure that, and I will make sure that I get it posted on Instagram tomorrow so a larger audience gets to lay their eyes on it as well. I do have, as I had mentioned, a little short box, as the kids call them. Some comics that I haven't had out in a while that I'm getting ready. I guess that's a loose term. Indeed, it is. I'm getting ready, I guess, 6 months out. So I have a little booth at an antique store in a suburb of Phoenix. And I've been on a long waiting list for a different store in Phoenix. And I'm figuring about the first of the year. If my number ain't already up, my number will be up then. And so I'm getting some stuff ready so that it'll make that a little bit easier. But before these get packed away and sold off, I figured I'd go through. I'm going to call this segment What's in the Box. Now, if any other YouTubers want to use that for their own live streams, I didn't patent it. They're more than welcome to do so, as long as they just give me a little byline or credit or something like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can't argue that. All right. So let's take a look at what is in the box. We have issue number 10 of Kamandi. Alex, you might be onto something. Not the greatest collection, but such an incredible collector. You know, that's the difference. Bub has an incredible collection, and I'm an incredible collector. I'd say that's the biggest difference between the two. What else have we got? Number 7. And that is Big O, of course, grabbing for Kamandi. Issue number 3. DC 20 centers, the kids call them. Issue number 2. Fun series. I think still relatively inexpensive to pick up. So I think that's a good thing. Tales to Astonish, issue number 96. The Thanos Quest one-shot. Boy, this box is all over the place. All kinds of crazy stuff. Thor number 141. $139 for you Rayman the Silencer Man fans out there who can't get enough of his Thor. Thundercats Dogs of War number 3. This one has a signature. What else? Spawn 200. Spider-Man, Evolution of an Icon. So this was with those 12-inch the Marvel Icon figures, like the ones you have seen behind me in the past in videos. So this is part of the packaging. And there's a comic included with each of those. I used to have every single one of them, but I sold almost all of them. Radioactive Spider-Gwen, #1. Uh-oh. We've got the gray man in. Good to see you, sir. I am a Yankee Doodle dandy. By gosh, by golly. We've got Star Wars The Force Awakens, #1. Vader down. Several jokes there that I'll just leave there. But a lot of the kids are into the Star Wars. Spider-Man, issue number 26. From 1992, with one of them there hollow foil covers. Issue number 28 of Ghost Rider. Now, I do collect Ghost Rider, but I already have this one. So that is a double. Issue number 49. Now, if I get through enough of these books and sell enough of them, I don't know, I might not have enough to be on Cover Slingers anymore. We'll see. Ghost Rider #1, one shot. Cycle of Vengeance. Suicide Squad #1 from the new 52. Oh, we got an old Soups, number 237. Lois Lane #110. That's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I don't know. What the heck is it? I always wait. Me too. I always wait until I see the post the day before on Instagram from Matilda, and then I go, "Oh yeah, that's what it is." Let me go try and find that some books that meet that. It is cool, absolutely. And did you like the movies? Either one of those, the first or second? I've only seen the first. I haven't seen the second Suicide Squad movie. That's right. Churches. Yes, and we're taking a very liberal definition of church, I think, with that. That could include mosque, synagogue, any type of pseudo-religious structure, I'm guessing. Superman, Wonder Woman, #1. And this one has one of Dem Dare autographs as well. Everybody's favorite redhead, Jimmy Olsen. Exactly. Here's another Jimmy Olsen. And another. Who knew? I hadn't seen these in another probably 5 years or so. Okay, a little run of Jimmy Olsen's, I guess. Number 89. '67. All right. Big O is on for Saturday. Oh, so you like the second movie, but you like the older Suicide Squad comics. Makes sense. Yeah, I think the first movie was a mixed bag. I do. I like these are cool, but the missus says that something's got to go. She wants me to go, but if I got to stay, I think these comics have to eventually go. So we got Hawkman. Ooh, what is what is? Oh, this is a signed Hawkman #1 from the shiny '90s. I'm guessing with a certificate. I think the kids call it of authenticity. I don't know who's this on. Rick Magyar, I guess, signed it. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and then we have some House of Mystery. I remember reading these. I'd get them and read them at lunch. This particular one has a preview of Sweet Tooth. This is the reason why it's worth a little bit more, I think, than regular ones. Sweet Tooth, of course, I think they just finished. Didn't they just have a second season? Champions. I do collect Champions, but I have that one. So, all right. Back to the '90s. And the New Mutants. A couple of those. Ah, here's Harley. It's Amanda Connor cover. I think that's Harley Quinn and Power Girl, I think. Nope, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. We got some FF. So I was just telling them, Gray Man, in case you were out, that I'm calling this What's in the Box. But I want you or anyone else to feel free to use that for any of your live streams going forward. I believe in sharing my brilliant ideas. That was actually a pretty fun read. Neat take on the classic book. There's some Action Comics. Ain't I though? What's going on, Graphic Man? Good to see you, sir. I appreciate it. We got some more silver and bronze heading your way. It says, Great Caesar's ghost. His caveman skeleton is wearing an indestructible costume exactly like yours. Superman says, incredible. How could a Superman have lived and died 1,000,000 years ago? How indeed. You'll have to read it to find out. Adventure Comics. No, I've had these for years. Just hadn't gotten them out maybe 5 years or so, and went through them to figure out what I was going to start selling. Once I get another booth to sell at in about 6 months, so I have everything kind of ready to go when that actually happens. So I figured before they went away, I would show them. Oh, this one's pretty wild. Yeah, it came with stamps. But either I don't have the stamps or they're not with the book. That one's got the sticker of one of the local comic book shops. Now, I don't collect Spider-Man, but I know a lot of people do. I like Spider-Man, and I've read all of the Silver and Bronze Spider-Man, but 25 years ago, when I was determining what I was and wasn't going to collect, Spider-Man was too expensive. And that still is. So he didn't make the list. This one's a Bub special, if I've ever seen one. Dejothoris. This thing just runs the gamut. There's no rhyme or reason to what's in here. Other than I went through and said, all right, I won't keep those. Do I have the series of that one? No, sure don't. Just that. I believe you're misbehaving, sir. They named the dog Indiana, is what I've been told. I think that's just a set of 3. If I'm not mistaken. Or 4. I don't know. Set of 4. for you Star Blech fans out there. Well, that bag is rough. That's a wild one. At least I don't see it too often. Fun little read. Just 2 comics as far as I recall. I think, like Moonstone, I think, did a small series of Buckaroo Banzai as well. Now, I do collect Black Panther, but these are duplicates. All right, what else we got? Another one of those. What's going on, Scott? Of course, here's Bub's nickname in high school. Has the Dark Horse version. Wherever I got these from, put all these little bits of information on them. I don't know if I'll take them off. I'm not one to change a bag and board unless I have to. All right. See you, Gray Man. Have a good night, sir. It is not. These are books that I've had for years and years and years, and I had to go through them recently to put some out that I'm going to sell. And so before I sold them, I thought I'd show them. You're misbehaving again, Bob. What's going on, Comic Book G-Man? Ah, cooler weather. What is that? I'm in Phoenix. It's been between 110 and 118, I'd say, for a couple of weeks now. So I wouldn't know what cooler weather is. The new 52. This is a Roger book all day long. Matter of fact, he might have shown this during a recent cover of Slingers. I can't recall. He shows so many unremarkable books, I can't remember, can't keep track of them. Now, Bub would say, science fiction, that gets a thumbs up. No gals on the cover, that gets a thumbs down. Oh, well, actually, there is a gal on the cover, but probably still gets at least a thumbs up and a thumbs sideways. Dr. Doom covers are always fun. What else we got? Oh, yeah, that's right. That if I can summon Rayman, that book should do it. Ooh, no AC. Yucks. I couldn't. I don't. Well, I could. I mean, I was in Phoenix as a young man when I had a '78 Datsun pickup truck that had no air conditioning, but I was a lot younger and better able to deal with it. I don't know if that I would be now. I bet they do. Is that a study from the science group? Do we treat them in how? What's going on, Steve? Good to see you, sir. Must have had a little run on Thor back in the day. I was going to collect Thor, but after trying and only getting like one high grade copy in 10 years, I said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to collect Thor after all. I don't think that's working out for me too well. And we'll leave this box on a Jimmy Olsen. All right. We will unbox this thing. Pretty sure I remember what this is. But let's see. True. Do have trees, but they sure love trying to nest in saguaro cacti. So if you have that, that's one of their preferences. Let's see. It is the dreaded box envelope within a box envelope trick. That's dastardly, I tell you. It is. It is indeed, sir. Most people don't understand that, Bub, but you're smarter than the average bear. All right, let's see what we got. The box within the envelope trick. This one's going to be a toughie. Good thing this one's pre-recorded. Aha. Well, I think this will be pretty cool. If I can get it out of there. There we go. All right. We've got Erie Publications portfolio. So the only question is, the collector in me wants to leave this sealed, but where's the fun in that, right? There's the back. You know what? I tell you what. Here's what we will open, because this is also in the back box. The Erie Publications, the Bloody card set. How fantastic is that? So we'll open this guy up. Let's see what's in the Bloody card set. Pretty neat. Ooh, methinks you're doing one of them double entendres, Bubsy. Yes, Erie Pubs is the bomb. That's exactly what it is. I don't care what the doctor says about you, Bub. You're not slow. All right. We've got cool Erie Publications cards. Card set. They're not cards that you would play games with. They're more like trading cards. So that's the very first issue of Weird. So Weird was going to be Erie, but those rascally folks at Warren beat them to the punch. And they made like 250 black and white ash can Erie #1 publications. Sent one to the patent office, and they met with the distributor, and they met with Myron Fass, publisher, and it was the distributor who essentially decided that Warren would get the name Erie. So Myron Fass went with the name Weird, and perhaps as a shot at Warren, he named the publishing company Erie Publications. I got these, so it's a little bit of a story. Story time, folks. Gather around, turn the lights down, fire up the fire. So in one of my comments, because on my Savage Sword of Conan's, oftentimes on the back cover, Bud Plant would advertise his wares during the 70s, 80s, and even in the early 90s. And someone asked me, I can't recall who, someone asked me, said, have you ever bought anything from Bud Plant? And I'd never even thought about it. I didn't even know he was still in business. So I checked it out, and that's where I found the portfolio and these trading cards. So now I can say I have indeed bought something from Bud Plant. True. I think that's fair advice to anyone who would take it. Yes, indeed. So Bud Plant is still out there. He does have a website. He's more than happy to take your coin. And I can tell you that he does indeed ship what you purchase. So many of these I don't have just because they made a crap load of them as far as the actual magazines themselves. And so it's quite an undertaking to try to collect all of them, especially now. I'd say within the last 3 years, they've gone up a bit in price. Used to be able to get them for a song. Now it'll take a song and a couple of greenbacks to get them. So if he thought it would make money, Myron Fast would print it. Terror Tales was another title. Very true. Very true. Tales from the Tomb, yet another one. And these are the backs. So what's it say? It tells you the volume and the issue number, publication date. If they know, they'll tell you who the art's by, the cover art. Cover art was usually by Bill Alexander. And then it'll give you a little blurb on some of the stories in there. So the stories were redrawings of 1950s pre-code horror comic book stories. At first, Myron Fast teamed up with Farrell from Ajax Farrell, and so it was those titles that he was pilfering, and he would pay artists. I think in the very first issue of Weird, there was an original story. But aside from that, I don't think there are any original stories. They were redrawn, sometimes panel for panel, from the original issues from which they were taken. About 10, 15, sometimes 20 years later, right? And the cover art was just, there's a different title, Witch's Tales. Over the top, out of control, fantastic. Very much, very lowbrow, or as we call it here, bub style, lowbrow. Unibrow, lowbrow. But I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Over the top, gregarious colors. They would add blood to everything they could add blood to. And Carl Burgos, of the famed Atlas days with the torch, was the editor for nearly all the horror mags for Eerie Publications. And he kept the X-Acto knife company in business with all of his cuts and paste ups. He would take a monster out of one cover, put it in the background of another one, remove one. He would reuse covers several different times. Good point. The stories, there was quite a, they ran the gamut in quality, that's for certain. I mean, it's all up to the individual, but for my money, the EC horror stories were by far the best. There weren't any that were even close. But there were a lot of other good stories of PCH. They did some science fiction as well, Strange Galaxy. But there were a lot of bad ones. especially when the code came through. I just finished reading maybe the first 100 issues of Strange Tales, and they were pretty tame pre-code, but post-code, wow. It's pretty interesting. There was an issue of Strange Tales. You're welcome, Bob. Anything for you. I got these from Bud Plant. I imagine it's budplant.com. I can't remember. I'd have to check. But Bud Plant would oftentimes advertise on the back cover of Savage Sword of Conan issues. And someone asked me if I'd ever ordered from him, and I didn't know he's still in business. But he is indeed. These are proof. Definitely fun. Well, that's your syphilitic mind at work, Bob. That's what that is. That might be Nestor Redondo. With that cover art right there. Oh, I was in the middle of a good story, Bud. You interrupted it. And now I lost my train of thought, and the next train's not coming till tomorrow. It would be fun to collect all these magazines, but they're not as common as the higher quality Bronze Age horror mags, like the ones from Marvel or Warren or Skywalt. So they're tougher to find, and they are getting more expensive, even in low grade. Be sure to join me for more excitement this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Anachronic Comics as I go back to school. The Anachronic College. And I will be put to the test. Hopefully some smart folks like Scott and some smart asses like Bub will be in the chat to help me out. So Myron Fass was a golden age artiste. He worked for the Eisner and Iger studio for several years. He worked for Toby, Ajax Sparrow, different imprints as an interior artist and cover artist. He even did some stories for Atlas at the time. I appreciate that. Don't give me that. You used that last time, Scott. You can make it. This one's one of my favorites. I do have this one. I think, Therefore I Am. I think this one's a Fernando Fernandez cover, but I'm not positive. I'd have to look that up. But he definitely had a unique style. Bill Alexander is an African-American artist, as I said before, did most of the covers. Ezra Jackson did some covers, and many of the interior art panels, not necessarily the stories, but panels. And he did a lot of illustrations that went with some of Myron Fass's how should we say? There's a good photo above right there, a good likeness. Myron Fass's girly books, where he would have scantily clad females, oftentimes with humorous stories, but they were definitely, I think Photorama might have been one. I just can't remember. But he definitely had a couple girly magazines, and some of the artists did illustrations that went along with those as well. But he would print anything. UFO magazines, gun magazines. What did he say? I thought you quit smoking, Bob. Cigar, brisket, whatever you can lay your hands on. Oh, that's a good one. I think I have that one. Now, he did a couple of criminal or crime magazines as well. They didn't do too hot. And as I said before, he did some science fiction. Most of the cover art for those, and in turn for some of the horror comics, had previously been published on a German science fiction book series called Perry Rodin. All right, and there's the checklist. Pretty cool. So that's the set. I was only going to show you a couple, but Bub would have been angry with me. So we got to look at all of them. Yeah, they were pretty bad, actually. The covers were fantastic, but the interiors, not so much. That will do it. Again, here is the Erie Pubs portfolio. I think I'll leave this sealed. But the most important thing, the treat, is the original art from Alexandra. All right, so thank you, everyone. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be on Friday on Anachronic Comics, so be sure to tune in to Joe for that. And always remember, read a book and apologize profusely for the glare.